women bring stuff that's not tangible to the relationships, right?
Headaches.
No. I mean, the positive.
Okay.
Right, the positive stuff, right?
Okay.
Right, they bring, peace and whatever they bring to the table. We bring the financial part, right? And then I said this, so we technically rent your attribute. I said a man technically loses in a relationship, and here's why. We bring an attribute. You bring the warmth, the home, the make it house full of home, and all this nice, the nurturing, all that, right? You help me build this empire, right? You help me. You make me feel so good. I build this. When we break up and divorce, this is what ends up happening. You take your value with you, right? You take your nurturing and all that. You don't leave that. You take it with you. And then you take half of mine. So half of what you help me create, you take you too. You don't leave half of your nurturing with me. You don't need half of your soul. So basically, I'm renting your half of the table. And I'm sitting there like, because someone said it, a lady said like, I quit my job, I had your kids, right? I gave you kids, and I had to think about what she was saying. I was like, yeah, and then I'm like, wait, hold on. No. The kids you had for him, you took with you to use them to get child support. So
we're gonna get to some comments related to this shortly. I'm gonna discuss this very quickly, but before we get into it, please put a like on the video. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching all that good stuff. Let's get to it. So, as far as what he's saying, is very true. When it comes to a one-on-one situation, I really don't like asking a chick, what she brings to the table. I honestly think it's corny in a personal situation. I'm going to figure out, or you're going to show me, and I will make my decision based on that. But when we talk about a group discussion of any sort, whether it's a podcast, we at work or whatever, we just talking about dating, any situation like that, asking what you bring to the table is a cool question. And it's an interesting question because this is the thing about it, and this is the truth. A lot of these chicks know that they ain't shit. That's just what it boils down to. They know that their value doesn't extend far past sex. That's just what it is. So when you look at, and I'm not saying that for all women, I'm saying that for the individual, she knows when it comes to these intangibles, she's not able to deliver on those intangibles. But this is the other thing. They are not willing, even for the right guy, they are not willing, but they're also not prepared. So you got that. One of the things that he mentioned that women say that they bring to the table is the child, and we'll get to the written shortly, but they bring the ability to conceive your child to the table. That is something very valuable. But when you hear these conversations, that's not something that ever gets mentioned. And I'll tell you why. It's because of the society that we live in. Some of these guys who sit down at these tables and stuff like that, they either have kids already or they don't want kids. So that's the first thing. Let's just get that out the way. Just some level of accountability there, to where having kids is just not valuable to you at all, as far as some of these guys. Because we always talk about, oh man, I could get a maid, an escort, all this stuff. So what do I need you for? You hear dudes say that shit all the time. You're not about to go squirt nut into a fucking science lab and then have them conceive a child out of thin air and have a surrogate and then be a single dad. Only nutty women do that. Let me say that again. Only nutty women do that. I don't know no guys going and squirting in no tube to have a kid. If there are men who do that, and I'm not talking about sperm donating. I'm talking about squirting to have your own kid that you're going to raise, and you get it done through a surrogate or through a lab or something like that. I've never heard of a dude doing that. That's a woman thing. But the whole thing about this child thing, so we get that out the way as far as the guys. That's why it's not special to some of the guys. But when we go to the women, the reason that they don't say that's something that they could offer is because two reasons. Number one, a lot of them have kids already. So it's not like you're going to that's going to be an exclusive thing, but this is the other thing, and it's very important. A lot of these women really don't care who they have kids with. They'll have anybody's kid. And when I say that, I'm not talking about a guy off the street, but I'm saying it's not special to them. That's why they don't mention it. Because think about it. In some situations, you have chicks having, one night stand babies or situationship babies, with short-term mates, people that they know are short-term mates, that they know they are not going to be with. They don't plan on being with them forever. But what happens? That child gets in them. They are pro-life. And what do? They think the child is a blessing and they decide to keep the baby. So when you got stuff going on like that, that's not that special. Now, I know a lot of people are MGTOWs and things like that. I know a lot of dudes are players and they just run through chicks and all of that stuff. But I think most men would like a life companion as far as just a regular woman that is going to be their peace and make their life easier, put them at ease and stuff like that. Just that type of stuff, whether they want to build a family with them or not. The thing about it is women are chaotic. Women are chaotic. So them being a man's peace is not something that comes to them naturally. That is something that they have to put in effort to actually do. Most of them, especially in America. That's just what it is. Some of them are not taught how to be a man's peace at all. Like 0%. So when you get to that point, you have a lot of women who cause and create and love drama. They love drama. So it's like, yeah, you could get a chick and y'all might vibe together and stuff like that. But damn, we get into a fight every month. Damn, you always getting into it with somebody at work, or damn, like why you keep, causing problems for me with other dudes in these places, and damn, why you keep nagging me, like just all that type of stuff. So we have just look at those values that I mentioned. We'll just go off of being a man's peace and also conceiving his child and stuff like that. Gilbert already mentioned that, you take the child with you as far as the value that you bring to the table. But then the other thing that you bring to the table is that peace that goes with you, as well as a vagina. So all of that goes with you. As far as a man, what do? We lead. She's not under our leadership anymore, so she got to figure that out. And and this is the thing on this channel. I'm not a disingenuous person. I'm not somebody with a crazy one-sided, we just gonna go hard agenda. I keep it real on both sides. I've seen a chick break up with a dude, and the chick was a fucking idiot. This cat had to, like, the chaos. She caused a lot of chaos. The dude had to keep cleaning up her messes and shit like that. She didn't appreciate it while she was with him, but once she stepped away from him and she lost him, she lost a lot. She lost a great guy. And I mean a really great guy in the sense of high value. And then when she stepped away, she realized, damn, I'm fucking up so much. I got to actually start to get right. I got to actually start to get right myself, because nobody's going to clean this shit up for me. And I no longer have that guidance that would have kept me from doing this dumbass shit. So that's the first thing. We get that out the way. The second thing that I would say is protection. Some men will offer the protection still, some won't. It depends on the situation, and it really depends on if they got another guy or if they cheated. So that's the second thing. But when we talk about providing, if we're talking about marriage, and even if we're talking about just having a child with a woman, that's where shit gets tricky, because providing is done. Women love to try, oh yeah, it's done some other, no, it's done through money. So what happens is she leaves, but you still pay her after she left. You still pay her, and you don't get the value that you used to get from her. If I could just keep my money, take my protection and my provision as far as my leadership, and you could take all your nurturing, your peace that you was giving me and stuff like that, that vagina, and you could take, not even the kids, because the kids is supposed to be something mutual. If you could just take all that, then we would be cool. But no, you have to get the finance. You have to get the finance. So that's why he says it's renting. I'm going to read probably just a few comments. Let's get into it. So the first set of comments reads, if you treat us well, we never leave. On top of that, we raise your children to not bother you the way they follow us like stalkers. Ha ha ha. Somebody responds, more than likely a guy. He says, that's the biggest lie in the world. Women leave when they want to. Stop lying to yourself. Let's read this next comment, which is in alignment with that, so we can nip this in the bud. He says, or she says, if a woman is treated kindly, she will stay with you. It gets no more simple than that. The intangibles have to be acknowledged daily, weekly, often. Otherwise, she becomes depleted, no matter how much money you have. A fellow ratioed the fuck out of her and said, if a woman wants just money out of a man, don't matter how nice he treats her, she won't stay. So this is my take on both of those. Like, if you treat a woman good, she'll stay and shit like that. There is truth to the fact that if a woman is being treated absolutely horribly, it is possible that she will leave. The thing about this, though, is that we as guys know from women fucking with bad boys and stuff like that, the women are gluttons for punishment. You know the whole nice guy asshole shit. You know that thing right there? Yeah. Yeah, we all know about that. We all know about that dynamic, and guess what? That makes it in the marriage sometimes. So with that being said, that's not something that is universally true. It's not even true for the majority of women. It's not even true for half. So let's just get that out the way. Because the thing it tries to make it sound like is, oh, these women are leaving because they are mistreated. No. Some of these, air quote, irreconcilable differences are money. I don't know if I put the post up here or whatever, but it's a post I seen a long time ago. A guy who owns a business, he made the decision in the pandemic to hurt the family's income and stuff like that, but they still lived in the same fucking house or whatever. They had to get a different house, whatever the case may be. But once things begin to get on the up and up, she was just upset that, he fumbled a little bit and stuff like that. She left. She took the kids. She left. She fucked him up, even though he was on the up and up and he began to get the trajectory back up after he made the mistake he made at the start of the pandemic. So what does that have to do with being treated badly? But this is the thing. A lot of women live in delusion. They live in like just this emotional land to where it's like what they perceive is not reality. So if you ask that woman, oh, he wasn't treating me good, he wasn't treating me well, or whatever the fuck she gonna say. But in reality, it's just like he said, it's like, bruh, she was upset that I made this decision, highly upset that we couldn't keep the house and that we had to get another house and that I had to get the shit back up. But you chose to be with an entrepreneur that had a business, man. They say that shit in the wedding vows, through thick and thins, up and downs, all that shit. And chicks don't be willing to go through nothing with a dude, man. As soon as the shit look any type of unfavorable, they be ready to fly the coop. They be ready to get the fuck out of there. I haven't even gotten to women cheating. I haven't got to women being gold diggers or anything like that. So we know, and I don't have to flesh out, that this shit is not even halfway about, men treating women right or anything like that. That's a crazy assumption. Now, I'm going to highlight this comment very quickly because it highlights something that I always say on this channel. It says, the man is acting like we live in a single family income economy. We don't. The majority of people are going to have two incomes to live in a house, especially. So with that being said, that's the situation that we live in now as far as America and the economy. That is true. But let's go over to this next comment. A woman says, you do realize women can literally bring money to the relationship as well. Somebody responds, as far as a guy, they don't. If they bring money, they don't respect you. It's a lose-lose. And that is, bruh, if you go to the very first video on my channel, the very first 2 videos, that's what I discuss over the course of like 40 minutes. Those videos barely have any views, but it's really the foundation of me making this channel, because I think this is something that is not stated quite a bit. And it's really, and when we look at what the last chick said, the white chick or whatever, one thing she fails to realize is that Gilbert is a multimillionaire. And yeah, you know, at the end of the day, he's sitting at a table full of other multimillionaires, rich guys. So with that being said, these guys are not just providers, they're super providers, and they're having a conversation amongst super providers. But even then, you don't have to be a super provider to relate to what he's saying. All you have to be is a provider, and there are plenty of male providers in America. The only thing is that it's hard to become one of those providers in comparison to back then. Back then, in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 50s, anytime post 30s, it was very easy for a man to get into a provider role. If you know your city, you know the types of industries that exist there, the guys could get into without a degree, whether it's some railroad shit, coal mining, working at a steel mill, building cars with manufacturing plant, whatever it is. You know what it is in your area that existed for a long time or doesn't exist anymore, that was really stimulating the economy back then. To where when a guy gets out of high school, he could choose to go to college. That's a choice. But it wasn't like this, oh, you got to get a trade and then, you know, learn HVAC. It wasn't this shit. It was, no, you could get a very good, solid wage that will help you take care of a family of 4 to fucking 10. Because, you know, back then they used to just be fucking. There wasn't no contraception. They just was having all the kids, man. They was having all the kids. Your grandparents probably come from households of 8 to 12. You know, so with that being said, like, you could just go and get something. It's not like that anymore. Not only is it not like that anymore, but on top of that, the cost of living and the inflation and things like that is ridiculous. So not only is it not easy to get a job that puts you in a provider position, but even then, just the economy is just so fucking crazy as far as the percentage differences, you know, compared to back then. Now you combine that with, you know, women being in the workforce and stuff like that. Then, like, you know, in this manosphere space, the whole fucking different wages and stuff like that, or women get paid less, that myth has been debunked for over 20 years, probably 30. You know, it's been debunked. With that being said, women making the same wages, if not more, than men. What we have in society right now is a big imbalance. A big imbalance. And that imbalance is actually the root cause of a lot of the discrepancies and just turmoil that is going on with dating. This is something nobody talks about, because at the end of the day, this is what it is. What is the solution? Which is something I don't talk about often. I can't tell you what it's going to take as far as voting and legislation or whatever the case may be, like not buying, boycotting or whatever. I can't tell you what we can do to get the inflation to go down. I can't tell you what we can do to get better jobs out here. I can't tell you, like, I can't tell you. I can't tell you what it's going to take for these companies to stop price gouging us on fucking McChickens. They used to cost $1, now they cost $3. And I know that sounds ridiculous as far as just that. But even when we look at rent, the place that I lived 10 years ago that was $500, $500 10 years ago for me to stay there. That place is like $680 right now. That same unit that I lived in is like $680 right now. And guess what? The wages haven't increased that crazy. But let's get away from just that and just being a guy that provides and stuff like that. The thing that he mentioned in his comment is the biggest piece. These independent women do not respect the men that they get with. The men that choose to commit to them, they do not respect these guys. Now, if you got some other type of attraction thing going on to where you are like, a superior protector and stuff like that, and, you could lead very well and stuff like that. And what I'm saying is, if you were somebody like, if there's a dynamic to where she is more of a lower tiered value woman, like she's not the best looking, she's not a stunner, she's about a 6, she's about a 5. And as far as just looks, you as a guy, you are a 7, you're an 8, you're a 9. You have the muscles, and all that stuff. Like you are a air quote alpha male. Shit could work out for you. You could be in a great situation where, yeah, she make the money, but she still respects you and stuff like that. I know I'm going deep, but you know what that relationship is? I'm gonna just keep it so fucking real with you right now. That is the black guy that just got out of jail, that is super thug 5,000. And he could be with a lot of different girls, because there are actually fine black girls who date these guys. And then there are, fine white girls, Puerto Ricans, whatever. But for this example, you take the muscly jail guy with all the tattoos, and you put him with a fat white chick. And when you look at that dynamic, you just got it in your head. Like, this is not a woman who is in high demand. She probably has a lot of insecurity and things like that. And this is a guy who, if you know how prison dudes work, not only is he just like muscly and like physically attractive, but he's a manipulator. So when you have a dynamic like that, and even then, it don't got to be a fat white chick. If you look at the Love After Lockdown, it was a short dude who was with a big fat black chick. Big fat black. You done seen the memes before. And it's like, that's the only type of dude she could get, but he was kicking that good game in her ear and stuff like that. And that's the only way those types of dynamics work. It's not even about you have to be superior to her without money. It's about she has to be inferior to most women. She has to be kind of a below average woman. And I'm going to just leave it there. I could keep going, but I'm going to leave it there, man. Let me know your thoughts. I'm out.